What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Branham, and welcome to another session of Strategies for Creatives on this YouTube channel. Today, we are talking about avoiding needing a savior. This is dope. Let's jump into it. This is when you are in a bind, in a situation, and you need help. You need to be rescued. You are literally in dire straits and you need somebody to come to your aid. How do you avoid that? I have 9 areas where I was definitely thinking about that when I reflected on business, when I reflected on working in organizations, when I reflected on doing something that I probably had no business doing and now got stuck in a bind and I needed help. I needed to get myself out of a jam. Now, granted, you probably shouldn't be there in the first place, or you put yourself there and didn't think about everything. This is something that I want you to do before hindsight kicks in. This is actually planning ahead of the game so you never have to need a savior. And this is only related to things that are in your capability, in your wheelhouse to fix. If this is above you, now granted, a lot of Christians are probably watching this and like, well, we need a savior because of Christ. That is something out of your wheelhouse. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about everything else under the sun that you have the capability of fixing. So if you cannot fix it, then that is where you need a savior. But if you can fix it, this is going to challenge you not to be a lazy individual, to actually put your hand to the plow and do what's necessary to complete the task in your time and your efforts before the thing even gets started. So this is about prepping and planning. So the first thing, you have to understand who's in charge. No matter what the scenario situation is, who is in charge? Who is holding all of the information? Who is the stakeholder? Who is the individual you have to report to? If you don't know who that is, you will already be coming in needing a savior because you have no idea how to function. Prepare yourself for turmoil and prepare yourself for calamity because it's coming. It just matters on when and how much. Find out who they are, because the second thing you'll need to know is what are the rules and regulations and the laws and bylaws that they put into place. They set the standard. They're king. They're the one that are holding all of the information that you now need to know about. If you don't know about that, whether you're doing business or working for somebody or you've just started a creative project, if you don't understand that, you are already setting yourself up for failure because you're going to have to answer to whoever is in charge. So you want to learn those rules, you want to abide by those rules, and you want to uphold those rules, meaning you have to do your due diligence to perpetuate and keep doing what's necessary. So you're not creating your own and you're not feeling like you want to go rogue. You have to follow what's been set in place, and that will keep you from needing a savior at any given time. Third thing, stay in your lane. Be great in your environment first. What are you good at? What do you need to do? And focus there. If you try to do anything else outside of your wheelhouse, you will find it very problematic that whatever you're doing might not be working the best way, and the results that other people are looking for aren't top tier. They might be subpar, they might be mediocre, but you want to make sure that you put your best foot forward no matter what they are. And that is a tough thing to do when you're not operating in your wheelhouse. Fourth thing, master your environment. That means you have to know everything about what's going on for you and what you're responsible for. And this also goes to staying in your lane, which was number 3. All of that's going to be included and very important for you to be very, very, very helpful in those environments and maximize what you know, how well you're doing, how your creativity should perpetuate the environment and be an asset and not a liability. That's all going to speak to that. The moment you don't know your environment and you're not mastering that area is when now you're subpar and now think that you can move above and beyond that, and you haven't graduated yet. So that's like somebody going to college and literally has not passed middle school or even the required courses from high school, and now you're going to jump right into college. You might have some issues. You're going to need a savior. You're going to need somebody to help tutor you. You're going to need additional support from your peers and from professors. So this is how you kind of maneuver and navigate away from that, because you want to prepare and go along the steps. Now, again, steps are not always nice. You want to skip some. You want to try to get to the end before. You want to take a couple, extra steps to kind of go above and beyond. I used to skip steps when I walked. But guess what? Every time you skip a step, sooner or later you're going to stumble, because that step is there for a reason, to help you get the maximum leverage to get to the next step with zero problems. So this is going to be key as well. Stop skipping steps. Stay in your lane, master the environment, master your space. No mature help. No premature help. Stop trying to help other people because you might not know enough yet. Become a master, become an expert, and then start helping people. The moment you try to start helping people and you're still a novice, you're also going to cause more problems than you will be fixing problems, because now you're still learning in that environment and trying to teach someone else, which doesn't really work that way. Plan before you start. I can't stress planning enough. I'm all about strategy, strategic understanding, strategic consulting. If you do not have a plan, you will fail. And why do I say that? Because you will think about something after the fact and try to backtrack and try to fix it, and that does not work well if you have a group of people, a team, or you're being responsible of a project or an environment, and now you have to go back and fix it before something is released. You just cause yourself a headache, you might need to call on help, and you make yourself look immature about the environment or the space that you're in, and you don't have enough insight. So now you've put a cart before the horse, in a sense, and now you're trying to backtrack to make yourself still look good. You don't want to be in that scenario either. I've been there one too many times previously, and work spaces with projects. You might be able to save face a few times, but do you really want to put yourself in that environment? Collaborate with people that know more than you. This is something that if you can pick up early on in the game, you will make yourself look extremely valuable, because you realize what you have to offer versus what someone else has to offer, and how you can collaborate to make things work well. Now, again, you want to take some time out to vet who you should be working with, so it's more cohesion and you guys really communicate well and you're able to leverage from each other. But again, you want somebody that knows more than you. If you're trying to do it all yourself, you're wearing one too many hats, and you're not in your lane. And then you're also trying to produce more than what you need, which is double the work. So why not leverage other people that are experienced, in order to be a part of the team? And now you can actually work way better. A lot of people do this that are successful in business. Leverage other individuals that are more experienced, more knowledgeable than you in their specific lane. Ask for feedback. If you do not ask for feedback, what you're saying is, I know enough, and you're thinking that you have everything settled and you know what's going on. That's a mistake. And here's why. You will miss something because you are a flawed individual. You do not have all the answers, and you will need support at one phase in your life, one way or another, because you're trying to grow. And the only way you can grow is to have somebody help you understand where you can grow, because you can't see everything. People on the outside looking in can give you more insight on how you're maneuvering, or something that you might be doing or saying that can help be a benefit to your education of yourself, and apply that information, if it does apply, to make you a better creative individual in your space and in your environment. And the last thing is, evaluate yourself. So after you get all that feedback, after you looked at your environment, after you've done everything the best way you can, and you're actually on the delivery stage and you're finishing up something, you're packaging it, this is still evaluation. Never stop evaluating yourself. It's up to you how often. The more you do it, the better you'll have as far as results for the next item, because you'll be able to look at what you've been doing well versus the areas that you haven't been doing well. And that is probably the best information you can give yourself, because that reminds you, one, you're not perfect. It gives you a level of humility, and you're not so arrogant that you think that you can't evolve. So again, I hope this helps somebody, and give me some scenarios if you guys have other areas or ways you can kind of, benefit from not needing a savior within a project or a process, or on your 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing. If you can figure out anything else that'll help somebody else, drop them in the comments below.